Hello, this is Karima from Hijabi Globetrotter, and this is a very special video that I would love to share with you. It's been a long time coming, and today is December 29th, 2022, the last 29th month of the year and the last year of my 20s. It is bittersweet, a lot of emotions mixed, and it's finally here. Let's talk about it. As a kid, you think that you figured it out by 29, 30, and now today me will like laugh at myself when I see what the reality is. A lot of expectations I had for myself that is shifting as well, and a lot of things I've learned and I have had to unlearn right now at the age of 29, turning 30. So here are 29 lessons I've learned at the age of 29. Always ask for help. You cannot do it on your own. As a kid, I've always been independent minded. I always wanted to be this super strong independent woman. You know how they always say an independent black woman was something I thought was to be proud of. When I was a kid, my mom would delegate work to my siblings and I, and when I wasn't satisfied with the work, instead of me to also divide the tasks and delegate it to my siblings, you know, according to our strengths, I will do everything. I always felt like if I wasn't satisfied with something, I will do it myself because I trusted myself to do it to satisfaction or to please my parents. And I've carried that mentality as an adult. In my 20s, I would try to do everything on my own. Even with Hijabi Globetrotter, I will try to do everything on my own. My dream also as a kid was to be very super independent in everything, and like I think that mindset also led me to feel like if I haven't achieved this level of independence, nothing is right, like it's not perfect, and I have to strive for that perfection. And I will be honest with you, the past 2 years have been very difficult with this mindset, and it has led me to burn out a lot because I realized that I cannot do it by myself. Like, for example, this journey with Hijabi Globetrotter has been a huge learning curve for me. I learned how to design a website on my own. I didn't go to school for this. I learned how to edit videos because I didn't trust the videographers to do it. And by the time I was learning all these things, time was going. I learned a lot of digital marketing. Time was going as I was learning all these things, and at the end of the day, I was learning so much that I wasn't even good at many of them. And I had to start like hiring people that knew better than me. So now the lesson I've learned from this is that you cannot know everything, and it's okay to admit that you do not know everything. So that is one lesson I've learned in my 20s. Number two, this is something that I will say that has been my biggest strength and is part of my job right now, my 9-to-5 job, which is building relationship. As a kid, I've lived in different parts of the world, and I always keep in touch with people. That has been my biggest strength. And so I've always understood the power of relationships. For me, money is important, but relationships are even more important. The connection you have with people is so valuable, and that is something I really struggle with here in the US. I will say that unfortunately, of all the places I've lived in, many relationships in the US are very transactional, or people are friends with you when they see they can benefit from you, even sometimes relationships. And that has been a very hard pill for me to swallow, because when I'm connecting with people, I'm connecting them because I really like them. I like something about them, their personality, and sometimes that's not reciprocated, unfortunately. But I try to be the better person and not let that taints my value of building relationships with people. But honestly, the lesson I've learned from this also is that people can know when you're genuine, when you're not using them for other things or other ulterior motives. So always build relationship with people, even if you do not agree with them. Find ways to not sever ties with people as long as they're not there to hurt you or anything. So relationship is wealth, in other words. Lesson number 3, live in the present. I learned this during pandemic season. I tend to not live in the present. I'm always looking at the future or looking at my past mistakes and beating myself up for it. And also I always try to save the best thing for the perfect time, the best you know, best words to say, the best clothes to wear, whatever, the best moment for the perfect time. And the pandemic really taught me to just enjoy what you have right now. If you're living in a city that's whatever it is, the city I live in, enjoy where it is. The people I'm around with that are supportive for me, enjoy where you are. Just enjoy where you are in life. Sometimes I used to be that person that's always seeking like joy somewhere else, maybe because I'm not satisfied with where I am, and that has been very detrimental to my mental health, and it's just not healthy. So I'm learning to just enjoy the little things, and honestly the little things in life are the things that bring one true joy. Lesson number 4, try to live a balanced life, be it your 9 to 5 or following your dreams. If you've known and followed my journey, I started Hijabi Globetrotter from 2015 when I moved to Spain to document my journey as a Muslim American and African living in Europe, and I wanted to build something out of it by sharing my story. And it's, you know, it's made me like work a lot behind the scenes, like creating content like this, creating videos, writing articles, reaching out to brands. And it has been hard because I'm balancing so much. And sometimes, to be honest, when you're working on your dream, even besides a 9 to 5, no one tells you how time consuming it is, and you don't get time to spend you don't get to spend time with your loved ones or even friends, and most times you don't even have a social life. And my mentality on this had to shift because I wasn't living a balanced life. I was just trying to achieve all these things, and then ended up getting burned out. Something really hits me, you know, this past couple of years, and I was like, Karima, you need to slow down a little bit, and you need to, you know, make time for other things in life, and work hard on making it balanced, not just work and not just following your dream and like striving onto like, oh, until I reach here I'm gonna like be more social or whatever. There was this Netflix movie I watched called Tick Tick Boom. If you haven't watched it, you should definitely check it out. It was a very powerful movie, and it was based on a real life story about this it's about this guy who made a pact with himself that by the time he turns 30, he's gonna be this great theater composer. He worked so hard during his 20s. It affected his relationship with his girlfriend and his friends too, because he was so passionate about following his dreams. And by the time he almost turned 30, he presented to the composer like they liked it, but it wasn't to the level that he thought they would like it, or the level that he thought he would reach. And then someone told him like, yeah, this is just the beginning. Like, even when you think you've reached the peak, you have to keep working hard for more, and you have to keep loving it to like keep doing this. And he thought like by the time he achieved this goal, everything will fall into place, and then he can start living life. But yeah, so that movie was definitely very powerful, and it made me really think about just a lot of things in life, and that is balance. So be it working 9 to 5 for long hours or following your dreams, definitely make sure that you have a balanced life and have a life outside just work, and you know, spend it with the people that you love. Number 5, travel doesn't solve all your problems. Guilty of this. Sometimes when I go through some challenges, I'm just like, oh, if I traveled here, it will like make this go away. Not like I think it will solve all my problems, but so, you know, it still comes along with you on your trip. So I think like if you have problems in your life, definitely find ways to resolve it here, and don't think that travel is the pill to solve your problems. So that's a lesson I've learned in my 20s. 6, life is about sharing, be it culture, be it food, be it travel. That's just what makes life so joyful. Number 7, keep in touch with your parents at least once a week. I try to do this as much as I can, and yeah. Number 8, work to live. This is a motto I definitely live by. If it was stamped anywhere, it would be on my forehead. Ever since I moved to Spain, that was something I really admired about the culture, how they worked, but they didn't take their work in place of their health or their life. It was more of like they're working to just enjoy life with other people, and I have that mentality even when I'm working, and I'm very grateful for where I work, where I don't take work home. Once I leave the office, I'm done. I don't have to think about it. I just work is work in the office or during the office hours, and after that, let's not talk about work. That's how I like things. Number 9, surround yourself with people who want to see you win. This is very, very important for entrepreneurs especially. Not everyone wants to see you win, and you need to identify that so that you're not sharing your goals or your dreams to the wrong people who don't have your best interest. I've had to learn that the hard way. Number 10, as I'm getting older, I'm learning the importance of personal finance. So learn more about finance, learn how to invest. You should spend, what you can afford, but definitely learn how to invest. I think in my parents' generation I was always taught how to save. My dad jokingly calls me a squirrel because I'm like a very big saver. I like to save a lot, but saving doesn't grow your money. And so at the age of 29, I am moving forward on investing more than just saving. Number 11, don't let other people's expectations of you define who you are, no matter who it could be, your friends, your family, school system, career, whatever. Don't let that define who you are. You should trust who you are, trust yourself, and let you define who you are. Number 12, just because you grew up in the same household as your siblings doesn't mean you all turn out the same. That was also a hard pill to swallow for me because I'm very close with my siblings, and I've learned that we all have different perspectives, and you can't expect people that are the same family or in the same household to all think the same. And so the key is just respecting each other and loving them regardless and supporting them. So that's a lesson I've learned in my 20s. 13, kind of going along with this, embrace people's differences. I feel like especially people of color in the United States, we're always shouting at the top of our lungs to embrace difference, to like institutions and so on, but unfortunately it doesn't always happen within our communities. So I say this for myself, I say this for people of color, and just people in general, to be honest, to just embrace differences and just find the commonalities you have with someone that you trust, you love, and so on. So just because people think different from you doesn't mean that they are the enemy. This is very important to know for everyone. Just because you have one perspective and you don't agree with someone else's perspective does not make you that person the enemy. Find a common ground and embrace that difference. Number 14, go where you're celebrated and not tolerated. Just growing up in certain communities, I was just there for different reasons, maybe for family expectations or for work, for school, whatever. And you just think that, my presence, sometimes how we always say that saying of like just show up, take space, which I agree with, but I think you should also consider your mental health. It's important that you are in spaces where you are celebrated. You're not always trying to fight for your basic rights. So this is what I mean, like especially in your personal space. Of course, in other spaces we have to be there, but in other words, in general, just if you feel uncomfortable somewhere and you feel like your existence doesn't matter in a space and everything you do is always minimized, then it's time to leave. Yeah. Number 15, do not let statistics define you. Unfortunately, there are a lot of statistics that stack up against Black women, and if you always read into those statistics, you think that there's no hope. And I think it's time to stop listening to those statistics, because honestly, most of the time they're biased. They don't even cover the whole story. And basically just focus on yourself and your own growth and your own skill. Don't let that phase you. Just do your own thing. 16, choose your battles. Not every battle needs to be fought. Know where to, peace is more important. As I'm approaching 30, I'm just realizing my peace is the most important thing to me. Number 17, if you find someone that brings peace to your life, that makes you feel at home, that makes you feel like your best self, don't let them go. Number 18, it took me a while to learn this. It's not where you work, but who you work with. I work in an industry where it can be up and down emotions. It's not always cherries and blossoms, but the people I work with are marvelous, and that makes a whole difference. In my mid-20s, I used to beat myself up in terms of like when things didn't go right, or when I was fired from work at a time, and I thought it was because I really sucked and I was like so hard on myself. And then now I'm in a very healthy work environment. I realized I was just not in the right workspace, and it was a very toxic environment, and it was all about who I was working with. That's a lesson I've learned. Number 19, pay attention to who's there for you in your low times. As someone on social media, people think that you're always in your happiest moment, and obviously social media is just a highlight of just like a tiny bit of your life. And living in New York, you get to see almost anyone, really. It's like the meeting point of the world. And as someone on social media, and even putting yourself out there, you have your high and low times, and sometimes you meet people that they glamorize who you are. They think that, oh, you have it all. And when they see you talk about your struggles, they either like feel like you're not, don't take you that serious, one, or they that the glamour or the glitz and gold fades out, and then you get to see people's true colors, unfortunately. And that has happened to me, and it's at that moment you get to know who's really there for you. Yeah. Number 20, stop normalizing insults as jokes. So when you tell jokes, don't take jabs at people and say, oh, I'm joking, it sucks. And younger me would think that maybe I'm being uptight, but I was truly upset by maybe I was truly upset by something someone said, and was really insultive, and then I would think maybe I'm overreacting. And today me is like, nah, if it's offensive, if you don't feel good about it, then let's not normalize that. Number 21, something I probably have to repeat many times, is you are not your age. People like define your success by your age, that if you haven't done this by a particular age, you have failed. And someone that's like really obsessed with perfection and like really is on learning perfectionism and trying to be more forgiving with myself and accepting mistakes and moving forward from that. I'm really learning that you shouldn't put a deadline to things, because you're not in control of everything, really. So let's not define people by their age, be it success, failures, or whatever.
It's okay to want to live well. I say this as someone who, for many parts of my life, have been made to feel bad for wanting to live a very comfortable life or wanting the best for myself. At this point or stage in my life, I'm embracing the things that I truly like and the things I truly enjoy without feeling bad or feeling guilty about it.
Number 23, believe in something bigger than yourself. It's very important to believe in yourself, number 1. Number 2 is believe in a higher purpose. Don't, if God, serving people, helping communities, all of that, whatever you choose, spirituality and all of that, I think it's very important to be selfless and believe in something bigger than yourself. It will give you a different perspective in life. Number 24, when you're stuck in life, ask for help. It kind of goes to number one tip. It kind of goes to number one lesson I've learned. It just makes things faster. Hire a coach, hire a therapist, you know, whoever is that skilled professional to get you unstuck from a rut. Hire that person. It will save you so much time. Number 25, you are more than enough. There are many times when I see stuff like maybe applications to jobs or opportunities and so on, and I think, oh, I don't have enough skills for this, or I don't think I'll be good enough for this. And then I see my younger brother who just graduated from college applying for things that are like way beyond his skill sets, but he just has that confidence. And I think guys are conditioned to over exaggerate their expertise, and we women are always like, I don't think I have all the skills to do this. And I see myself do that a lot, and I have to, you know, remind myself that of all the things I've achieved, and I shouldn't have to tick all the boxes to think that I am enough for something. So believe in yourself, in other words, and this is something I'm telling myself. We're almost there. Okay, number 26, and it's something I'm going to do more in 2023 and onwards. Go outside. It's going to be a lot less social media. This is ironic for someone that's here telling you all these tips, but I want to spend more time outside and less online. It's just rejuvenating. It's good for your health, physical, mental, all of the above. Go outside, explore nature, enjoy people, enjoy your surrounding, and just less TikTok. Number 27, stop comparing. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop comparing your success or stop comparing others' success to yours. You never know what battles they've gone through. And I'm learning to compare my today to my yesterday, or my this year to my last year, rather than other people's success or what they've achieved in life at a certain age or whatever. It's just not healthy. 28, take care of your mind. Watch what you tell yourself, watch what you listen to, watch what you eat. When I was younger, when people say you are what you eat, I never understood that sentence, but now I fully understand that. So I'm watching what I eat, I'm watching what I feed my mind, my soul, my body, everything. Yeah, take care of yourself. And number 29, do what you love and everything will fall to place. I know this is super cliche and people always say, doing all the things you love doesn't always pay your bills, or it's not always healthy to say, but I mean that in a way of not like monetary gain, but just for self. What I'm trying to say is do what you love wherever you're your best self, and you really exude a lot of good vibes and good energy within and also outwardly. People honestly can feel your energy. I found myself glowing when I was teaching. Obviously teaching is not perfect, but because I love languages, people can feel that energy of passion that I had sharing. You know, I love languages, sharing the knowledge I learned with others, and people can feel that energy. And so I found myself usually in a very euphoric state or happy state when I was doing that, so like language learning or learning about people's culture. And this is what I mean by you never know. This is what I mean by doing what you love and when you're your best self, because when you're in an environment where you're your best self, you feel more positive, you feel more confidence with yourself, and more opportunities come to you. I strongly believe that when you're your best self internally and externally, good things come to you and great opportunities will arise from that. So yes, those are the 29 lessons I've learned at the age of 29 which resonated with you. I'd love to hear from you, so share it with me down in the comment section below.
In summary, there's so much I am grateful for that I've achieved in my 20s. I got to live my dream of wanting to travel the world, visiting places that I dreamt of as a kid, like Machu Picchu, Morocco, Turkey, Spain, and many more. I've got to live in different cities around the world, and I got to do all of that in my 20s. I know that future me will be very proud to show my children, God willing, or my future generation, their mom was an adventurous woman, or Karima was an adventurous woman that when she put her mind to something, it's happened. And that is something I'm very grateful for, especially doing that in my 20s. Not many people get to do that in their lifetime, and I know that as I get older, I wouldn't be as physically strong as I was in my 20s. And although in my 20s I wasn't at my financial peak, but I was able to make it somehow, and I'm very happy about that. And now that the next decade of my life, I wouldn't look back and think, wow, I wish I traveled more. I mean, I will always still want to travel. That is something that I'm still passionate about, but I wouldn't have that, regret that I never got to do this. So I'm really happy I did that. And as you get older, especially towards retirement, for example, you're not as strong to be able to do that. And so I'm very happy with that decision that I made. And I also accomplished being an author, which is something that I've dreamt of as a kid, and I'm very proud of myself for doing that. A lot of times we don't give ourselves credit for the things that we've accomplished, and I do that sometimes, but I'm very grateful for this, and I hope to write more books in the future. So yes, thank you for following me on my journey through all of this, and I'm excited for the next decade and more of my future. Thanks for listening.